video, I am doing a few different things actually. I'm trying out the new Baohong, I don't know how to say that, sketchbook, watercolor sketchbook. And I've been eyeballing this thing for quite a while. I have a little sketchbook that I'm almost finished with. It's the Paul Rubens sketchbook I got a few years ago, and they don't sell them anymore. If you're aware of the Paul Rubens brand, they have a student grade line called Light Wish, and I think that they converted everything over to that, and I've tried that one and I do not like it. The paper is yellow, it absorbs weird, and I was going to do a review on that one, but I realized after I had tried it out a couple of times prior to recording the video that I didn't really have anything nice to say about that one. So needless to say, I've been on the hunt for a replacement for that one because that's actually my favorite sketchbook paper. And I heard good things about this Baohong sketchbook. I do have their cold pressed watercolor blocks that I used for my gouache classes, and I really like that paper. It's very rough, but for sketchbooks, especially to replace the Paul Rubens one, it was a hot press, and it has very mild texture to it. It's not a super smooth hot press, so it was just, one of those things. I couldn't find a replacement for it, and I had been looking for a while, so much so that I didn't even want to finish the sketchbook. I was like coveting the last 5 pages of it. So I was very pleasantly surprised with this paper, and I did also realize that when I had purchased some Meeden watercolor paper, that they are also manufacturers of the Baohong paper. So I don't know, some of these, some of the Asian companies, they have like 2 or 3 different lines that they call different things. And I'm realizing some of them are essentially the same. So I was really happy to find out that this was that paper. And it's actually my favorite watercolor paper. I like the Arches paper a lot. I like a couple other 100% cotton watercolor papers. They're okay, but 100% cotton doesn't always mean 100% good, or at least what you like for your style and your way of doing art. So I was really happy to find a replacement for that paper, and this paper was a dream to work on, and I'm breaking it in with the first page of the sketchbook, which is, I guess, always kind of intimidating. It's like the first page you see when you open the book, so you want it to be kind of, like greeting you into the sketchbook. Typically, I will do some abstract stuff on the first page, just because it reminds me of like, the cover page of a regular book, a textbook or a reading book. Or sometimes it'll have like, patterns or designs or something. So that's usually what I do. But I thought I would just be a little brave and, see what happens. On top of it, I was also revisiting the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors. I had these colors about 5 years ago, or not this particular set, but a much larger set. And it was when I first got into watercolor, and I wanted to just try out an inexpensive set. But as I was learning more about watercolor and getting just like sucked into the rabbit hole of quality and pigments and light fastness and all that stuff, I started becoming like a pigment nerd and like totally collecting different pigments and watercolor brands. So The Kuretake Japanese watercolors are somewhat opaque. No, I'll take that back. They're very opaque, actually. And they have a kind of a texture to them, so they're very thick. And back when I first started watercolor, I was not using gouache yet. I had tried it once and really hated it and thought, I was never going to like gouache. And as you guys know, I love it now. But it reminded me when I was watching a video the other day by a fellow artist who has a channel. Her name is Alex SD Art. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly because maybe it should be in the whole word that I'm saying, like Alex D Art. But I will put her channel in the pinned comment, and you can check out her most recent video on the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors. She was doing some swatches, and it just reminded me, oh, hey, I think these are the watercolors that are kind of like gouache. So I thought I would revisit them. I thought, after a few years, your mind can change about different watercolors after you've used different brands and you've adopted different techniques, and realizing that it's a lot like gouache, and I'm so used to that now that it is really its own thing. These watercolors are their own category. They are somewhat between gouache and watercolor, and they are shiny. If you do them really, really thick, they will dry shiny. And they just explode on the paper with the water. And if you're not into that, if you don't like really active watercolor, these might be a little hard to control for you. But I was really pleasantly surprised just at the results. And then I never really tried them on this type of paper before either. So yeah, I was having fun. And sometimes I'll just record stuff and see if it turns out decent, and then I'll upload it. So I thought I would share this little experience with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video and that you're having a wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.